this is the Pipeline Priestess play, and the whole goal here is when a new player enters into the deal, especially if they're a leader, an economic buyer, decision maker, any of those kind of people, if they've never been a part of the deal, it's been something that's in flight, or even if it's been a closed loss op or you just inherited the account, it is a way to welcome them into the journey and really guide them through the information they need to know to make the best decisions for their organization. My name is Gabrielle Blackwell, or GB for short. I'm an account executive at commonroom.io, a customer intelligence platform. And prior to being an AE, I was a 7+ year SDR leader at organizations like Gong, Airtable, a couple of HR tech companies, where my whole job was turning around underperforming outbound teams. I closed the largest deal in commercial history at Common Room, where my average deal size was over 2x the segment deal size, and then have always been a leader for self-sourced pipeline generation, meetings scheduled, meetings held. So it takes a lot to kind of outwork me on the pipeline front, but that's a little bit about me. So super excited to walk you through the Pipeline Priestess play for any kind of new stakeholders who are entering into deals. I mentioned this could be something that gets used for existing opportunities. It could also be used when you have an account that has a close loss op to it and a new leader comes on board, whether this person is familiar with you or not. One of the trickiest things to navigate is when there is a new stakeholder who is a decision maker, an economic buyer, or just somebody who is real close to those purse strings enters into the conversation. I've seen this decelerate deals by a significant amount, but I've also seen this accelerate deals quite a bit. The first thing that I want to do at all times is always know and always monitor what's going on in my book of business. Common Room's going to do a really great job of that across the board. I've got a few different plays or segments built out already, but the first one that we're going to pay attention to is the Pipeline Priestess play. I can see all organizations that have an opportunity where it's not at closed one, it's not just at discovery. There's been a job change in the last 6 months, and then the signals here are going to be the titles that are going to be the decision makers for us. So anytime that a new person enters into the play, like as soon as they were to update their LinkedIn profile, for example, Common Room should be able to catch this, give me a list of people that I can go and focus on. And from here, it can be really simple. I can start to see, all right, hey, here's Garrett Souza. That's exactly who I want to go after. Garrett is doing certain things that I care about the most, right? So has been on our website, is the right title, is in the right industries, as well as an economic buyer. So with Common Room, I can make this really easy. I can click in and add them into a sequence of some sort. The next piece that I can otherwise do is click directly into their LinkedIn. From here, I'm going to send a message to connect with him, as simple as, hey Garrett, I'm chatting with Will about this objective, this objective, this objective. Regardless of what happens with Common Room, hope that we can connect here. So that could be the first piece. And then the next step that I want to take then is also to send Garrett a no action required email. It's going to be formatted in a PIS statement. What is the problem, right? What is the impact? And then what is the solution? I'm not asking Garrett for anything. I'm simply letting him know, hey, here's the problems that I've heard. Here's the kind of impact that it's been having thus far. Here is the recommended solution that your team and I have been discussing, and here's the kind of results that we're hoping to get forward. Here's the next steps, and by the way, here's my calendar link if you have any questions. I did this with a deal when they got a new director of sales who came on board. That director of sales then became my new champion and was the reason why we were able to close that deal. Just because you have a new person who's coming into the mix of things does not mean that that is the end of your deal. If anything, this is your opportunity to enroll them, guide them through being a champion, and also to help them help you usher all the way through procurement towards the end.